Welcome back, family, to the Limitless Living Podcast. I'm your host, Ntebs Mbanjwa, CEO and founder of Dinaledi Institute. If you've been rocking with us since episode 1, thank you for coming back. If you're new, welcome home. This podcast is where we dismantle limiting beliefs one by one so that you can step into your power, manifest freely, and live a life without limits. Now, in the last episode, we tackled that sneaky belief of I am not enough. Today, we're diving into another giant, fear of failure. Fear of failure is one of the greatest dream killers. It's invisible, it's subtle, but it keeps so many of us from ever even starting. And here's what I've learned. Failure isn't just about falling flat, it's about identity. When we fear failure, what we're really saying is, if I fail, it means I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not enough. I want to get personal here, because this isn't just theory for me, it's lived experience. I grew up in an abusive household. As a child, I was surrounded by chaos, criticism, and fear. And in that environment, failure was not allowed. If you messed up, you paid the price. Sometimes in words, sometimes in silence, sometimes in violence. So I learned very young that making a mistake meant danger. My nervous system equated failure with punishment, shame, and pain. And that belief carried with me into adulthood. I'd start something exciting, then freeze right before finishing it. I'd hide my gifts, I'd play small, because deep down I thought failing would destroy me. But family, let me tell you, that belief was a lie, and breaking that lie has been one of the most powerful journeys of my life. It's the reason I can sit here with you today as a manifestation trailblazer. Because once I faced fear and saw that failure couldn't kill me, my whole world opened up. Let's make this real. Imagine a little boy or girl in a home where mistakes aren't safe. They spill a drink, and instead of gentle correction, they get yelled at, beaten, or shamed. Their brain wires itself to say, I must never fail. That was me. That was little Ntebs. I grew into adulthood with the subconscious belief that failure was dangerous. And so I became the queen of perfectionism. Everything had to be flawless before I shared it. Every project had to be polished until it was almost dead. I procrastinated, I sabotaged, I stayed in the comfort zone because it felt safe. But here's the kicker. Playing it safe is the most unsafe thing you can do, because safety without growth is a slow death. You wake up 10 years later realizing your dreams are still in the drawer. And I know I'm not alone. Maybe you've felt it too. Maybe you've delayed writing that book, starting that business, applying for that job, or opening your heart again. Not because you don't want it, but because you're afraid of failing. So let's sit with this together. Where has fear been building invisible walls in your life? Here's where the wisdom of the masters gives us language for what's happening. Neville Goddard taught us that life simply reflects our inner assumptions. If I assume I will fail, life will keep handing me scenarios that confirm it. But when I began shifting to the assumption that everything works out for me, failure lost its grip. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Fear is only faith inverted." That line changed my life because it made me realize when I was fearing failure, I was actually exercising faith. I was just placing my faith in the wrong outcome. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 1:7, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." That means fear is not from God, it's programming. And if it was programmed, it can be unprogrammed. Science agrees. Bruce Lipton showed in The Biology of Belief that 95% of our life is run by subconscious programming, often written in early childhood. My childhood abuse wrote the script. Failure is dangerous. But the beauty is we can rewrite the script. And Gay Hendricks taught me about the upper limit problem. He said sometimes when we start to expand into success, we unconsciously sabotage ourselves because success feels unsafe. And what does that mean? It means fear of failure and fear of success are cousins. They both live in the same house of fear. I want to give you more real-life examples so you see how common this is. Thabo the entrepreneur. Tabo dreams of starting a fashion brand. He designs clothes, tells friends, but never launches. Why? Fear of failure. He'd rather keep the dream perfect in his mind than risk imperfection in reality. Naledi the professional. Naledi gets promoted, and instead of celebrating, she panics. Every mistake feels like the end. She works twice as hard, burns out, and considers stepping down. Not because she isn't capable, but because the fear of failing is louder than her success. Saifo the parent. Saifo grew up in a strict home. Now he's raising kids and he's terrified of failing them. So he becomes controlling. He doesn't let them breathe. The fear of failing as a parent creates the very distance he wanted to avoid. And of course, the classic lotto winner story. People win millions but lose it all within years. Not because they're unlucky, but because their beliefs are still rooted in scarcity and fear. They fear losing the money, so their energy ensures exactly that. Do you see the pattern? Fear of failure doesn't just show up in business. It shows up in love, parenting, money, even self-expression. It's everywhere. But here's the good news. Everywhere it shows up is an opportunity to break it. Let me bring this back to me. Growing up, failure wasn't allowed. So as an adult, I became a master at avoiding risks. I'd play small, stay quiet, and never step out of line. I thought I was being smart, but in truth, I was imprisoning myself. The turning point came when I realized manifestation wasn't working the way I wanted. I was visualizing, affirming, journaling, but my energy was still locked in fear. My soil was toxic. No seed could grow there. I had to face the core belief. If I fail, I'll be punished. If I fail, I'll lose love. If I fail, I'll prove I'm worthless. That was a lie. I began small, taking risks, allowing mistakes, failing in safe ways. And guess what? Nothing bad happened. In fact, the more I failed, the freer I became. Failure stopped being an enemy and became my teacher. Family. When I released the fear of failure, manifestation started flowing. Doors opened, opportunities multiplied, the Dinaledi Institute grew. I stepped into my calling as a manifestation trailblazer, not because I avoided failure, but because I stopped fearing it. Here are 6 tools that helped me and that can help you. Rename failure. It's not failure, it's feedback. Every result is information. Inner child healing. Sit with the little you who was punished for mistakes. Tell them, it's safe now, you are loved even when you make mistakes. Micro risks. Take small risks daily. Train your nervous system to see that failure doesn't equal death. Visualization. Neville's teaching, live from the end. Picture the success already done. Spiritual anchoring. Use verses like 2 Timothy 1:7 when fear arises. Remind yourself fear is not from God. Affirm safety. Use Gay Hendricks' approach. It's safe for me to succeed. It's safe for me to expand. It's safe for me to shine. Fear of failure doesn't just stop you from acting. It blocks manifestation itself. Why? Because manifestation is belief made visible. If you secretly believe failure is guaranteed, you'll unconsciously manifest circumstances that validate it. Your energy calls it in. That's why some people pray, journal, and visualize, but nothing changes. Their words say, I'm manifesting success, but their vibration screams, I expect failure. And the universe responds to vibration, not lip service. When you release fear, manifestation accelerates because your energy shifts from avoiding failure to expecting success. And expectation is the soil where dreams grow. So here's my challenge for you today. Identify one area where fear of failure has been blocking you. Write it down and then take one step, however small, toward it this week. Remember, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. The only true failure is never trying. Robert Russell reminds us, God works through you, not around you. That means you must show up, even imperfectly. Because when you show up, Spirit multiplies your effort. Family, thank you for walking this journey with me. I'm living proof that fear of failure can be broken, even when it's rooted in childhood trauma. If I could transform from that scared little girl in an abusive home into a manifestation trailblazer, you can too. Stay connected with us at Dinaledi Institute. Always remember, fear is just faith pointed in the wrong direction. And you, my family, are more powerful than fear. You are worthy, you are safe, and you are limitless.